Hey guys, this is Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and I hope that you are having a glorious Sunday. Yes, as you can see, we are at a new time. We thought we would check out and try out this 2 o'clock time, Pacific Standard Time. So hopefully all the early birds that like to come in at 8 a.m. will like this 2 p.m. But we're going to keep playing around with the times. But before we dive into everything that we're going to be diving into this Sunday, if you don't know who I am Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. You can learn a little bit more about me by checking out the information box down below, checking out my website, kittensweightsandtarot.com, maybe checking out the Witchy Shop, Desert Cauldron over on Etsy, maybe looking for ways to help support the channel over on Patreon and with my YouTube members. So those links are down below. But hello, welcome. I hope you guys are having a beautiful Sunday. For some of you guys, it's towards the end of the day. Some of you guys are just starting your day. So do tell me what are some of the things that you have cooked up for today, or that you have been doing today, or maybe some things that you have for this week. I believe it's on Friday, August 1st, we have Lunasa, also known as Lammas or Lammas Day. So that is kind of the late summer celebration and leading into almost the first harvest. So excited about that. It means I get to redo the altar and all of that, and, you know, get into those late summer vibes. I think that of all the different celebrations in the Wheel of the Year, Lunasa is one of my faves. I mean, I love Litha too, because I'm a summer baby, but I love Lunasa for some reason. It's like, you know, it's not quite fall yet, and it's still really warm and summery. And I don't know, I just like the way the sun is canted in the sky, the way the shadows are, the way the sunsets look, and the way it feels, you know, outside at night and during the daytime. So I just really like that Lunasa feel. And then, of course, you know, I love, you know, Samhain. I love Yule, but before I get into what we're going to get into today, we have a weekly reading. We have what you guys voted on in the poll, you bunch of goofballs. Then we have our one card readings through our super chat, super stickers, and then we have our channel guided meditation. But I do want to give a shout out to all of my subscribers, all 10,900 and some odd of you. Like, that's just wacky to me, because back when I taught at the high school, there was like 2,000 students. And I thought 2,000 students was a lot of students. And to think that there is like a lot more than 2,000 students watching this channel, you know, supporting this channel, is just amazing. So I'm super grateful. Thank you guys for all of your support. Thank you for those who, you know, watch those Monday videos, give them thumbs ups, all the support you guys have been giving, all the suggestions for channelings, people who hang out during the live chats, these live chat crew homies, you know, I love you guys. Also for, you know, my YouTube members, you know who they are, because they got a little colored kitty head next to their name. That would be Kayla and Nancy and Jonathan Cleese and Jolene and Duality Tales and Sea Captain 8611, one of our newest members. Mwah! I love you guys so much. Thank you for the support. And to all of my patrons, Lily and Dana and Jamie and Kayla and Sugna Baby and Brandy, Jason, Brian, Palu, Crystal, Easy Does It, Danielle, Joel, 1111, Casey, Gritter, and Oz. So thank you so much for all of the support. Okay, so let me know, what do you guys got going on today? Crystal is here, says hello, my friend. So yeah, it might be like a little funky because, you know, we're at a new time. So, you know, we'll see how it works out. But yeah, like I said, we'll go into the weekly reading. Like, we do have August 1st coming up this Friday, which means there's a newsletter coming out, which means if you'd like to sign up for my witchy newsletter, go ahead and sign up. I don't play the spam game. All I do is send out a newsletter once a month. You literally don't get any other emails from me. But in that newsletter, I usually put a cool spell or recipe. There's a YouTube channel I'm watching, music I'm listening to, books that I'm reading, decks that I'm utilizing, just lots of talking about stuff, crystals and herbs. So if that interests you, definitely sign up through my website, kittensweightsandtarot.com. I believe there's also a link that I posted in that description box down below. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Oh, I have some things to post for my Patreon homies. There's a crystal grid that comes out for my crystal tier. They get a monthly crystal grid. There's a guided meditation, a channeled guided meditation for all of my Patreon homies. There are monthly readings for my woo-woo tier. There's a spirit reading for my VIP tier. So yeah, lots of goodies that come out with the first of the month. But going back to our weekly reading, so after that, we get into what you guys voted on. Okay, so those you don't know, I put out a vote every Thursday on my public page of my YouTube channel. I also put that same poll, I give that same poll to my Patreon members and my YouTube members. So technically, if you're on Patreon or as a YouTube member, you get extra votes. So if there's something that you're just aching to see during a Sunday live chat, your vote might be the vote that like pushes it through. So of all the votes, the most voted on for today was slinging cards with our friend Mary Jane. So I have all of my accoutrements to help us out with that. Perhaps I should have brought sunglasses. I'm not sure, but we'll get into that and we'll see how that goes. So we might do some of our super chats and super stickers while we're just, you know, hanging out with our herby friend. And then we'll go into our channel guided meditation. All right, sound good? Let's go. All right, so with this weekly reading, I highly encourage you guys to jump in and offer up your guidance as well, because I think it creates such a more well-rounded reading. So it's not just my higher self, but it's everybody's higher self, and everybody's going to see things from different perspectives because we're all different people. So I encourage that. And if you are going to be utilizing a tool that aids you in connecting to your intuition, do let me know what you are utilizing. Maybe it's a deck of cards, maybe it's runes, maybe you're scrying the clouds, or you know, looking into a flame. But let me know what you're utilizing. Maybe you're just channeling things from your good old-fashioned higher self. Maybe you are just bringing forth these messages through your claircognizance or clairvoyance, and you know, so definitely let me know. All right, but I'll let you know what I'm working with. I'm working with a deck of cards, and this is a brand new deck that I have that I just got literally yesterday, called the Magical Hours Tarot. And I remember seeing this on Instagram and I was like, oh, as soon as I saw a couple of the cards, it's foresty. It's like a dreamlike state. It's got lots of animals. That's right up my alley. So we're going to be using this deck for this week's reading. So let me get all of those cards out and I'll show you what some of these cards are, because I think, I don't know if this deck's been out for too long. I got it on the Amazons. But anyway, this is the back of the cards. And it is quite a glossy deck, but I kind of like glossy decks sometimes because sometimes I'm a klutz and I spill water or juice or, you know, what other magical liquid onto my deck, and I don't want to ruin my cards. And if they're laminated, it's kind of nice because water just runs right off. So anyway, I'll be utilizing that deck. Other decks that I have on my person, the Wild Woman Rising. So I think I'm going to maybe pull one of those for the week as well. And then I have my Native American playing cards. So let me go ahead and pull this deck out too, because what the hey, you know? Okay. And then I have a couple of, well, I guess it's technically rune sets. I have my Pachamama runes here, and they look just like this. There's some awesome runes created in Peru. So might be utilizing some of those. And then in this little pouch here, this used to belong to my cousin. My cousin has since passed away, but I inherited a few of her things, and she had this little pouch full of spearheads and arrowheads, and I like to use them for divination. So we'll have that off to the side as well. All right, so homies, let's go ahead and pull some cards for this week. Let's do it. Let's see. What do we have to look forward to? What do we have to meditate on? Do we have something to embrace, something to let go of, just something to ponder, something to chew on? I don't know. Let's see. All right. So let's pull from this Wild Woman Rising. Kind of a theme card for this week. All right, we have our card. I have it face down. I haven't looked at it yet. Okay, just want to put my cards there so they don't fly away in case the wind gets kicked up. Okay, let's see what we have here. Gather your loyalties. Ooh. All right, so let's go ahead and tap into this one and see kind of what this means for us this week. Okay, I think I literally just heard somebody talking about this, which, seems like if it's being said a second time, it must be important for this week. But basically, it's honoring our soul this week. And I know that we say that probably every single week, and probably, every reader and intuitive out there, we're all intuitive basically, but, is saying, honor the soul, honor the soul. And really what that is to be reminded, even though we know at a conscious level that we really are a soul having a human experience right now. Yes, we came to this beautiful world. We're here to learn. We're here to understand the self. We're here to understand the ego. We're understanding polarity. We're understanding, light and shadow. We're understanding and learning all of these things. We're expanding our consciousness. Some people are on an ascension, quest. Some people are on a quest just to delve as much into the ego as possible in this lifetime. Some people want to remove the ego in this lifetime. Everybody's on their different mission, and it does help the whole. We're all a part of that collective consciousness. But this is a reminder that whatever your mission is, whatever your quest, honor the soul. The soul knows what your purpose is, knows your mission, knows your quest. And it may not just be one thing. In fact, it's probably rarely just one thing. There is a bazillion things that we're learning here from the moment we are in our mother's, stomach to the moment that we pass away. We are still learning all these things. And, I even learned that from the trees. The trees are like, we never die. Even when we get used for firewood, even when you think that we're just dead and decaying on the ground, we're still alive. We're having that experience. And it's something that we came here to learn. We learn to be a sapling. We learn to be firewood. We learn to be struck down. We learn to be cut down. We learn to flourish and grow and die of old age. We're learning all these things. And I believe that, us humans are as well as all the animals and all the other beings here on this planet. And so, whatever your purpose is, your many purposes, try and go in this week and try to find what feels right for you at this time. Maybe it feels right just chilling, just taking a break from everything and just like, I need a sigh of, just whew, I need to integrate. I want to listen to anything this week. I don't want to do anything this week. And maybe that is a part of what you're meant to do right now this week. But we wouldn't know that unless we give ourselves a break to go inwards. Because I know that there's a lot of outward distractions of you got to do this and we got to do that. And people are going to look at you weird if you don't do this and you don't do that. There's a lot of this outside stuff. But remember, we're creating that reality. So if we're feeling pressured from the outside, it's probably because we're pressuring ourselves from the inside. And that's just being reflected in our outward reality. So, maybe this week when you go inwards and you're like, I'm feeling this like fire of like, go, go, go. I'm really feeling that Leonian energy, as we enter Leo season, as we go into August, I really feel this. I feel that sun energy as we come into late summer. Maybe some of us are feeling like, I'm just at the beginning of my spiritual journey and I'm like a little sponge and I'm just, absorbing everything. And there's no right or wrong way to do anything, really. It's all learning. That's what the soul is here about. So let's go inwards, let's tap in and just honor what you personally, your specific mission is right now, this moment. Not to say your whole entire life's mission, that's kind of a lot, to put on oneself, like in this present moment, just right now, this second, literally, while you're listening to this. What do you feel like doing right now? Not does your ego feel like doing, but what does your soul feel like doing? Okay. And sometimes the soul feels like doing what the ego feels like doing. And that's cool too. Remember, it's all a personal journey. All right, so now let's sling a few cards from my newest deck, Magical Hours Tarot. Hey, Neva's here. Neva says, "Hi, I have a question. I bought a brass pendulum, and you can open it. What would you put inside? Or can you please give a few examples of what you would do with that small space?" You know what? I have a brass pendulum as well. And at first I was like, it was awesome. Or I still have it actually, so shouldn't use the past tense, but it is awesome. And I'm just like, what do I put in there? So I've done a few things over the years. Some I have pieces of crystals that I've had where like pieces have broken off of them, where it's like little tiny pieces, and I hate to just I usually toss them back into the earth, but sometimes I collect those little pieces that have broken off of like the crystals that I use, and I use it in jewelry and stuff like that. But I found out that was like the perfect space to put it was in that pendulum. So let's say, I don't know, I'm asking questions that are more aligned with my crown chakra. I might get, maybe some of my amethyst pieces that have broken off, and I might put it in the pendulum. Maybe you could just put in quartz pieces. Quartz is like the universal awesome, crystal. But you can utilize specific crystals based on the energy of the questions or what you're looking for utilizing your pendulum. You can do that. Another example could be an affirmation to oneself. It could just be some loving words. It could be like, let's say if you're using your pendulum to find something, you might want to write the word of the thing that you are trying to find, and kind of like, it would just obviously be a tiny piece of paper that you would like roll up real small, like a little tiny scroll, and just like, put it in there. But that could be something that you could do. I've definitely done that actually. And when I'm like, let's say connecting to an ancestor, I might write my ancestor's name on that paper and scroll it up and put it inside there. Other things that you could do, like if you're using it for, I don't know, let's say protection, you're cleansing an area with your pendulum, or you're looking for certain energies or just the energy in general within your home. You could put certain sigils that you create yourself, or pre-created sigils that maybe you found in books and things like that. You could put that on a piece of paper. You could also put different little herbs, like maybe rosemary. You could put rosemary in there. You could put yarrow in there. Maybe some plants that surround your home, like dandelions and things like that. You could put that in there. And every plant has its own meaning and symbolism. So based on, the energy that you're utilizing that pendulum for, you could put those different herbs in there. So I hope that helps. Okay, so let's go ahead, and by the way, that was a great question, because for the longest time, I had my little like brass pendulum. I'm like, this is so cool. It's got like a secret cubby. What the heck do I put in this secret cubby? And so that's just kind of what I came up with, over the few years that I've had it. Okay, so let's pull a few cards here. All right, and then I'm just going to put this deck right there. All righty. Let's see what we have. We have the Magician. Well, that's always cool. Bringing in a little magic for the week. The Tower. Those of you that remember my YouTube channel from the way back, if I say the Tower, wee, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. The Three of Swords. Okay. Okay, cool beans. Neva said, it does help me a lot. Many thanks. You are very welcome, my friend. Drew was wondering if they could get a reading. Definitely during our super chat and super sticker section, which will be after the weekly reading. We're doing the weekly reading right now. But yeah, if you're interested, we do have super chat, super stickers, and I'd be more than happy to slang a card for you. Okay, so let's take a look at these cards. So first, gather your loyalties, just take a moment to tap in without the confusion and the hustle and bustle of the outside world. What do I feel like doing right now? What does my heart feel like doing? What does my soul feel like doing? And it might be contrary to what your ego says you should be doing. But as we know that eventually the body will get involved if we ignore our intuition for too long. Okay, so having that in mind, we have the Magician, we have the Tower, and we have the Three of Swords. I'm guessing this is everybody's favorite two cards, not? All right, so let's tap in. Big word that popped in was perspective for this week. So let's say you take this card's advice, and by the way, this is all just advice. I'm not telling anybody what to do. You all have free will. You can take it, leave it, transmute it. I don't know. But let's say you take the card's advice and you're like, all right, I did a little tap in, come Monday morning, you do a little tap in, you're like, my soul really feels like just binging. I just want to do some Netflix binging this week. I really don't feel motivated to do anything else because I feel like I just need to integrate all the stuff that's been going on in my life. I really don't feel like doing anything else. And so you put a lot of stuff on hold. You're like, hey, hold my calls. I'm delegating some responsibilities and I'm just chillaxing in my sweats, eating some popcorn, watching some Netflix. But let's say something occurs that let's see. Okay, like a pipe burst in the house. Okay, well, I definitely can't just binge on my Netflix because I got to fix that pipe that has burst in my house because, it's connected to all of my plumbing. So it's like, tower moment. Like, what the heck? I followed my heart and my heart says I should just chillax for the moment. So why in the world would the universe put a bursted pipe in my path? That's like the opposite of chillaxing. And so we might get into this space with the Three of Swords of like, well, that's the last time I listened to my intuition because, we could get into that headspace. I mean, we're all human, right? That's also part of the human experience. But we could look at the perspective another way. This bursted pipe. What have we been doing in our go, go, go day-to-day life that caused us to forget about possibly the necessities of our home, like just the upkeep of the home? I'm not talking about taking out the trash and, painting the exterior or something. I'm talking about some of the little things, the deeper care of the home, the guts of the home, like the pipes. The guts of the home is representative of the inside of us. Our home is a reflection of us, is it not? And then sometimes we try, at least we try to make it that way. And so if the pipe has burst, this is more of, oh my gosh, there might have some things that I've neglected within myself that might be ready to burst. And instead of them bursting inside of me, I'm talking about this metaphorically, my home is showing me this because my home is symbolic of me. And so because I'm in this mode of chillaxing, I now have the time to take care of this. Instead of fretting, going like, oh my gosh, when am I going to have time to fix this pipe? You already cleared your schedule. You gave yourself a whole week to just relax. And because you've done so, now you can do a little bit of care for your home, which i.e. means care for the self. And so all it is a perspective this week. So you might feel like it's the tower, like, oh my gosh, what is happening? But try to look at what the message is. What is the meaning? The world is never trying to punish us. The universe isn't like, you've been a bad person, I'm punishing you. But it's trying to speak to us in different ways. It speaks to us through our friends, through our body, through our home, through our car, through our the things that we have, through our children, our animals. So taking a look at an alternative perspective than the first one that pops into mind this week. Okay, let's take a look at what some of the homies who just came in are saying. Hey, it's our girl Kayla. What's up? Kayla says, hi, Tara. Just got my first Canadian joint, about to light it up for the chat. Hey, I love it. It says the dispensaries here are so cool. Nice. Hey, Aries Rainbow Child. What's up? How are you? Good afternoon. Time Harvest says, here I am. Finally, hit the like button, y'all. Thank you, my friend. Those earrings are so majestic feathers. Native Americans used them quite a lot. And I also resonate with wearing feathers on my head. That's amazing. And I'm so glad that this time works out for you, my friend. And by the way, these earrings, I made them myself. I have a, well, I guess it's like a thing that I wear in my hair, and it has all these feathers, and a couple of the feathers fell out, and I didn't want to just toss them because, you know, these are kind of like cool blue feathers. They're dyed feathers, but they're kind of cool. And I was like, you know, I can make earrings out of them. So I kind of slipped them through these extra turquoise beads that I had, and I turned them into earrings. So, eh, reduce, reuse, recycle, you know? Okay. So on that note, let's follow Kayla's lead and let's get our party started with our friend Mary Jane, and hang out with our herbally friend. Hey, our girl Lily is here. What's up? Okay, let me show you what I have going on here. And by the way, I do have my shades in case my eyes start getting real funky. Okay, so I brought out my special apparatus. I'm very careful about the words I'm saying on YouTube right now. So I have my special beaker apparatus, scientific apparatus. And this one I usually only use for rituals, ceremony, deep meditations, deep dives. And I figured, you know what? We could do that. Lily says, oh, wait, I thought it was a person. Yes, Lily, we're hanging out with Mary. She'll be here in just a moment, actually. Yes. Anyway, so in here, this apparatus has amethyst and rose quartz and quartz. And I just, you know, I think the way that it just infuses the water and the herb that is in here is just amazeballs. I have some really good meditations with this. In here, we have our herby friend, which I am borrowing from my boyfriend. And then I have this cool little grinder just in case, because I actually create my own herbal blends, sans our friends Mary help. So it's actually just like the other herbs, the kind that aren't censored by the government. So it's got roses, lavender, it has mullein, it's got what other thing? Spearmint, I believe it has, and deer tongue. And basically, I call it Spirit Rising, and I sell it on my website, you know, if you guys are interested in it. But it's a blend that I created like way back when I'd be working with my ancestors, and, you know, and I wanted to get into like this meditative space. And it smells beautiful, by the way, because of all the flowers that are in it. So it literally smells like you're just like being surrounded by smoky flowers. But I like to mix some of our herb with my herbs here. And I think it creates quite a unique experience. And again, I usually use that in ceremony, but you know what? Right now we're gathering here together, so that's like ceremony. So I also have something that my friend Agnes, her friend's husband, he has a lot of herb at his home, and he gave me a couple of these vapes. But these are the was it the Delta vapes? They're the hemp. So it's not really, I mean, it has THC in it, but it's hemp, and so it was legal technically wherever you go. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I mean, I have this with me. So I don't know if we'll dive into that one, but we have that. But I also have my very special pipe here with me that, again, I usually really only use in ceremony, and that was made by Bright Sky over on the reservation in San Diego, made by the Kumiye, which are part of like Borona and Pala and stuff like that. So, you know, perhaps we will use this one. We will see. But hey, if you guys have some herby friends that you would like to light up at the moment, by all means, go ahead. Let's go ahead and get this party started. Time Harvest is my favorite color, is dark blue, and I love wearing this color too. Later on, I found out it's a Lyran too, apparently, or a Lyran thing too. We love dark blue. You know what? I love dark blue, but I also love turquoise. And well, that's connected to the blue avians, the dark blue at least. So perhaps that's kind of left over from the Lyrians being, close knit homies with the blue avians, which is a part of my soul. So that's awesome. Okay, so let's see. What do I use first? Hmm. Apparatus or peace pipe? Apparatus, peace pipe. You know what? Let's go with my apparatus. Let's do it. Okay, we're going apparatus all. Okay, so I'm going to get my little lighter. I have this cute little, like, mixing tray. It's just, I like the little spiders on it because I have Halloween in my heart. So, okay, I would like to blend a little. I guess I can't really show the herb itself on camera. I don't know. It's hard to tell what YouTube's rules are because they kind of make them up as they go along. So, all right. I'm going to put a little bit into my grinder here. Let's see. Time Harvest says, I never smoked anything in my life. Should I try it? A peace pipe? That's up to you, my friend. I always think it's good to try amongst friends, and just a little bit. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm always up for trying a new experience. Okay, that looks like it's gonna be good. Okay. All right, so we have a little in here. I am now going to take some of my herb that I created myself, like with all the different flowers and mullein. I like to use mullein because, it was used a lot by my native ancestors for helping out the lungs and helping to create the clear the air pathways and stuff like that. So, so it's pretty good. Did I already put? I'm not sure if I put herb in here or not already. Otherwise, I'm double herbing myself. Hold on, I did put herb in here. Whoa, I would almost knock my own socks off. Good thing I caught that. That would have been a very, very powerful smoke. So, okay, we're just going to take a little bit out of there. All right, and we're going to put this into our pipe then, or our little bowl. Here we go. Let's see. Crystal says, curious about your Pachamama runes. Where did you find them? I found these actually on Etsy. Let me see if I can find the creator. So if you want to look them up, you can. Here we go. You could also go to their website, www.artesaniwa.com. So hopefully you guys can read that. Okay. Or screenshot it. But yeah, the creators, they create things in small amounts, but I think that every once in a while they put out those Pachamama runes. So definitely go check them out. I think they have some beautiful things there. And it is created locally in Peru. Okay. So I'm just filling up my little bowl here. Time Harvest says, Peace Pipe looks so cool. You should do it. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do both. I'll go back and forth and we'll see. We'll actually see. I've never done like a test of like, what's my experience like when I take in my herb this way, and what's the difference when I take it in this way or this way. So interesting. You bring up something interesting. Perhaps we will try that. I mean, we've got time, you guys. Time Harvest is best live on YouTube right now. Nice. Hey, everybody. John is here. What's up, dude? Time Harvest is cracking up. Says, imagine if you took that much. I am a lightweight. I've really only been smoking for like a few years. And I've just never built a tolerance. Some people build tolerances. I just can't. And I talked to my dad about this, which is weird, like talking to my dad about Mary. But yeah, something about Mary. But my dad said something about because I said, when I first well, hold on. Before we get into story time, let us take our honorary hit. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's do this. Oh, the wind. Hold on, I have to turn the other way. It's kind of windy. Oh, goodness. That's nice. Ah, that is nice. Okay, back to story time. Okay, so okay, hold on. I forgot about the coffee. Okay, so back when I was dating my ex, who actually introduced me to the herb. Well, actually, no, I take that back. I tried it once in college, but for the most part, I didn't really do anything. I didn't drink, I didn't smoke. I didn't really do anything because I was an NCAA athlete, and they drug tested us, and so I just really had no interest. I was more interested in like my sport and stuff like that. And so it was when I got out of I graduated, and I was now in grad school, and I started dating this dude from Long Island. And I went over to his house, and they were all just like a bunch of beach bums. I mean, I was a surfer, so like I hung out with surfers. So of course my boyfriend was a surfer. And I saw that they were smoking and out of an apparatus. And I was like, he's like, "Do you want to try?" And I was like, "Well, I guess, sure, And so I, dude, I was such, I would almost say I was such a dork. I'm still am a dork. I take it, and he's like, "You take the lighter, and then you light it up." And he's like, "And you inhale." And I was like, "Okay." So what do? I take it and I tipped it up to light it, and all the apparatus water was all of it. That is the grossest, nastiest thing. So that put me off from ever trying that ever again. Because number one, I was super embarrassed. I felt like a dork, and and they were laughing at me so hard, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." So then fast forward to like 3 years ago. So my ex is like, he's like, you should try it. And I was like, I don't know. Cause last time I tried it, I made like a big fool of myself, and like I got apparatus water all over me. And he's like, well, just, let's try edibles. And I was like, well, okay. So we try these edibles, we try smoking, nothing would happen to me. He'd even be like, okay, you're breathing in, like I'm in breathing in, right? And you're holding it like you're holding it. I'm like, yeah. And it's just nothing's happening to me. I was just like, well, maybe it's like, certain people, how their body just doesn't respond to like, Motrin or Tylenol or, codeine or something. I was like, maybe it's like that with Mary. Something about Mary. And he's like, no, he goes, maybe you're just not taking it enough. Or he goes, maybe there has to be something. And I was like, okay. So I try it for a whole year. Nothing's happening. And then my birthday is rolling around. So this is like 2022, I think. Yeah. So it's like 2022, my birthday. This is my 41st birthday. And we go down to the dispensary, and I buy a candy bar that's called a birthday cake because it's my birthday. And so I take a little bit, like 10 milligrams, and we're walking home back to the apartment. And you know what? An hour later, I don't feel anything. I'm like, this is so sad. I'm like, that was literally a really expensive candy bar. And so he's like, well, let's take 20 milligrams, because an hour went by, nothing's happening. Take 20. Another hour goes by, nothing. And he's like, okay, he calls his friend. He's all, dude, the girl I'm dating is like superhuman, because Mary has no effect on her. And so then he's like, well, I mean, you might as well just take a full 50. So I literally ate half the candy bar, all 50 milligrams. I'm sitting there. I'm like, I don't think this stuff really works on me. We're watching TV, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my. I was like, I feel like my heart is beating out of my chest. I was like, can I breathe right now? I'm like, I think I can't breathe. I'm like freaking out. He's like, dude, just chill. Just chill. I'm like, I think I need a doctor. he's like, chill out. And I'm just like, he's just like, okay, now you're freaking me out. He says, maybe we need to go for a walk. And I'm like, yeah, we should go for a walk. And so we're walking outside. I'm holding onto his arm and I'm like looking at people as I'm passing by. And I feel like I'm jumping out of my body because I can literally look down on my body and the people that were passing by. Like I keep like jumping out for a second, jumping back in, like jumping out. It's like I'm looking down on reality. And I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then when people look at me, they're like, hi, good evening, because it was a nighttime walk. And I'm like, hello. And I'm like thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, do people know I'm high right now? I'm like, I think I look high. I was like, do you think everybody knows? Do you think they're looking at me right now? I'm like, oh my gosh. So we get back to the apartment because we decided I can't be outdoors and I can't talk to people right now. Like I really cannot be around other humans. And then when I was seeing like cats and dogs running by, it's like I could hear their consciousness. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't be around animals right now either. I was like, this is too much. And so he puts on some like music for us to just like, sink into. And I felt like I was on a Ferris wheel that kept spinning, and but it was spinning really fast. And I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And I kept saying that I think I need a doctor. I think that my heart is, I think my heart stopped. And then I'm like, no, wait, my heart's still beating. Wait, no, my heart's stopped. I was like, no, my heart's still beating. Oh my gosh, do you think my heart's going to beat out of my chest? Like, so that was the first time I ever got high. Hope you all enjoyed my story. But yeah, do tell if you guys have some interesting stories about you and Mary. Definitely put that into the chat. I have learned kind of what my limits are, and I don't really go to like my limits anymore. I have a little bit. And oftentimes I'm just utilizing it for like a broader understanding. If there's like a problem I'm thinking about, I want to have like a broader perspective. And I know that I can do that without, any substances. But I just find that sometimes it's fun where you just feel like the ego like dissolving and going away. And you're just like, let it all in. Hello, bazillion spirits walking by. Hey, dog who's talking to me. I'm just like, yeah. Like, it just like feels so good sometimes. It's like when you don't have to try. That's the thing is oftentimes like when I'm channeling or I'm doing my mediumship readings, I have to be conscious about it. Like I'm consciously moving my ego off to the side so that I can speak directly to spirit. It's like a conscious like effort. But when me and Mary get together, it's like it just happens for me, and then it just seems so much easier. So it's to say that, sometimes I like to do it that way. Sometimes I like to do it, where I'm conscious of what I'm doing. But yeah, but then there are other times I just feel like being goofy. So okay, let's see. Let's go back to what people were talking about. Time Harvest says, how do you feel? Well, I took one puff. I could say I feel it. I feel it a little bit in my head, a little bit like how I normally feel it behind my eyes and in my sinuses. It's like there's just like this little bit of pressure. It feels like my eyes are being forced closed, so that I'm like, but I'm never quite sure if they are closing, or I'm just imagining that they're closing, or that they're open and they're just fine. And then I feel it, I guess, a little bit. Sorry, I keep hitting the microphone. I guess I feel it like a little bit in my chest. It's like a cooling sensation. I always feel like I have like menthe or something all over it, like mint, peppermint. I just feel like really cool. Um, Riley says, do you need me to come teach you how to do that? No, because my boyfriend likes to go balls to the wall. I cannot do it like him. Sea Captain is here. It says, hello, coming in late. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome to our very interesting chat today or this afternoon. Time Harvest is welcoming in Sea Captain. John says, me too, Sea Captain, right on time. Lily's cracking up, so is Time Harvest. And he says, have you ever explored other planets while channeling, perhaps an astral? I have, and I find this topic fascinating. I have actually. I've done it when I'm in my dreaming state. I've done it when I'm just like in a really deep channel. Like sometimes when I do 40-minute channelings for clients. For the most part, people get 20 minutes, and 20 minutes, it's kind of like when I do it here for you guys during a live chat. Like I feel like, you know, I get into it. I feel the entity, it's speaking, and then I get out of it. I feel like I quote unquote recover quickly. But I don't know if that's the word, because it's like nothing bad happens to me. It's just like you feel like you ran around the block a few times. So sometimes I get kind of thirsty, really hungry. I just feel like kind of tired, like I've just done some exercises. But when I go into a 40-minute channeling or longer, my gosh, I feel like I've totally left this planet. I feel like I am out there in the ethers. I'm on different planets. I'm in different existences, dimensions, time frames, universes. You know, I feel like I'm really somewhere else, and I really do feel like I'm dreaming to the point where I sometimes I'll come out of it and I think that I dreamt that I had a channeling for a client, because I am in so deep. My ego is so asleep, and that I feel like I'm in this dream world, and I don't really, you know, like I know I'm talking, I'm aware partially, like minusculely, that I'm channeling. And I'm channeling for somebody right now, but I also feel like I could be dreaming. And I love those because it's like, I don't know, I just totally can like really relax, and I can get into so much more energy, so much more deeply. So I sometimes love those longer channelings. However, when I finally come out of that channeling, when I channel really long, I find out that my eyesight is like trash for the rest of the day. Like it's literally like when your eyes are really blurry in the morning when you first wake up. That's how my eyes are for the rest of the day when I channel really deep. And I don't know why that is. And then I'm like, you know, starving. I'm thirsty. My body feels tired, but I also feel like jittery. So I have to go ground myself, which I do. I like let all the energy go back to Mama Gaia, you know, transmute that. And, you know, I do kind of like a body check, make sure that nothing got left behind. But I just, yeah, my eyesight, it just is like, it's no bueno afterwards. I don't know why. Time Harvest says, 27 years, yet never got high or consumed anything. One day I will try. Hey, don't worry, because the first time I tried, I was 41. Yeah, so you got time. No rush. No rush. John says, yeah, I find that substances used consciously can help get out of the ruts I've made in my mind. Yeah, and sometimes what I love to do, like, let's say if I've had a little bit of Mary and I just have like a tarot deck, and especially one with really good images like this one. Like I love art, but I'll look into it and I'll just like get lost in the picture. And I don't know how much time has passed. I could have been staring at this picture for like 2 seconds or 2 hours. I'm not really sure, you know, but I'll just be there like in a chair, just like staring. And there will be issues that like I'm working through, or problems that I've kind of been thinking about and kind of working on, like solutions that seem to just like open up and come to me in that like flow of consciousness where I'm not really thinking about anything in that moment. I'm just like, wow, that's like, I feel like I'm in the picture with the girl, and that we're got swords together, and, you know, and I'm just like feeling into it. And I find that when I'm in that state of just like not really anything on my mind, that's when all of a sudden all these things that I've been like working my brain, my little noodle about, all of a sudden it's just like this different perspective, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, The hard part is remembering what happened once I'm no longer hanging out with Mary. I'm just like, gosh, I had something really profound literally 5 minutes ago, and I don't know what I just did because my memory is shot. Um, let's see. John says, first time I had a psychedelic experience with Mary was with my girlfriend at the time in a martial arts cult, and the dojo master just kept passing it back to me over and over. Full hyperesthesia. Whoa. Wow. Wow. That's interesting. Time Harvest says, this tiredness is relatable to me when I used to try telekinesis for 5 minutes. I would get so damn tired. That's why I stopped trying it. I guess using the psychic is heavy. Yeah, I mean, I guess as I say, as above, so below. So just like, I could go run around and my body gets really tired. And, maybe sometimes when we work the soul really good, it's like the body instinctively thinks that it should be tired, because I doubt the physical body is actually tired. It's just like what the mind thinks, like, oh wow, you just did a lot of work, we're tired now, right. So maybe that could be it. That I'm really not sure. What I was thinking is, while we're just chilling and we could do some super chats and super stickers like now, before I start forgetting what I'm talking about 2 minutes after I've thought something. Hold on. So let me turn around, because the fan's going and I don't want to blow out my lighter. Okay. All right. Let me turn back around. So, John, when you were talking about psychedelics, that actually reminded me of, I guess I've told you guys this story before, but some people like to hear it because people like to laugh at my expense, and that's fine. That's why I have a YouTube channel. But it was the first time I tried. How would we say it on YouTube? My fungal friend, my magical fungal friend. Oh, Costalini is here. Hey, and John, can you just pull a card and see what comes through from moi? I sure can. And then we'll pull a card for our buddy John. Heck yeah. And then we'll talk about more snafus with magical fungal friends. Okay, hold on. I was gonna get a drink of water. I just never did. Okay, now I know I'm really starting to get high. Okay. Let's pull a card here from our Magical Hours Tarot. I am super glad that I caught that the herb that I had in that little canister was not just my flowers, but a mixture of Mary from before. And I'm glad I didn't put more Mary in it, because that would have been like a double dose and it would have been a lot. Okay. Okay, so Costalini, let's tap into your energy. And by the way, it's different tapping into your guys' energy right now. It's like, I see you guys more vibrantly. Like, I always see you guys in colors. Obviously I can't see your real faces, but I see you guys in color. I see you guys for how your higher self likes to show itself. But everything is so much more vibrant. It's like somebody cranked up the saturation and the vibrancy on what I see. So Costalini, just your energy right now kind of looks like the it's not, I think the caduceus has like the two snakes and the staff, but this is the one snake and the staff. And it's like it's spiraling up and spiraling down, almost like Kundalini energy. And it's white, like bright white light. And there's like somebody setting off like the most neon yellow fireworks within this bright light of this like Kundalini snake moving up and down the staff. Let's see if you have any music coming through connected to your energy. Oh my gosh, it's Sugar Ray's I Just Want to Fly. I just want to fly. What you want? Put your arms around me, baby. Put your arms around me, baby. I just want to fly. I haven't heard that literally probably since the 90s. You guys even remember Sugar Ray? Okay, so Costolini, let's go ahead and pull you a card. Um, Costolini says, how synchronous. Ooh. My goodness. It's starting to hit me pretty good. Just so you guys know. I think my eyes are starting to get like watery. Okay. All right. Well, try not to make too much the fool of myself on the interwebs. Okay, so here we have the Six of Swords. Let's go into kind of what Sugar Ray's I Just Want to Fly, and what I was seeing with your energy was like that kundalini, but like the fireworks of neon yellow and this like bright white light. Interesting. All right, so your higher self is talking about, in the weekly reading, we're saying something about perspective. You know, that if we have a little bit of a tower moment, it doesn't have to be a tower moment based on our perspective and how we deal with it and we work with it. And so what your higher self is saying about your journey right now, there are some things that you might say, oh, that's super easy to heal from. I'm like so over it. That's a cinch. That'll take me like literally a day to work on. And there are other things you're like, man, that's a big shadow. That's like some really big stuff. Like I really got to work through. That's going to take a lot of time. But you'll start to notice in the coming days, weeks, months, that as you are growing and expanding, changing your frequency, literally, that the things that you thought were going to be so hard to heal from, man, this is a deep wound. It's going to be like overnight perspective change. And you're like, whoa, I am so not triggered by that anymore. It's like, whoa, I didn't expect it to be that easy. And then there are things that you're like, oh, cinch, easy. I'll just, I'll definitely heal from that pretty quickly. And by the way, everything is layers. So I'm not trying to say like healing is like one and done. But perhaps for certain aspects, of course, there's going to be a layer within layers. But let's say there's a certain thing you're working on that's going to be super easy, and you find that it just seems like, wow, this takes me down a rabbit hole. There's so much to uncover and learn. To not let any of those scenarios deter you. This is again to help you broaden your understanding of things, that sometimes things are not always the way we think they're going to be. The things that we think are going to be difficult in our life might turn out to be really easy because all we had to do was change how we were looking at the situation, or even how we look at ourselves. Some things that we think are going to be just like easy peasy lemon squeezy, we might find that we were maybe trying only to look at the surface level of things, not realizing that there was a depth of lessons for us to learn beneath what we thought was easy peasy lemon squeezy. So I hope that makes sense. And so let's say if there are things that you deem simple in your mind to work through, if they end up feeling like they're taking longer than you quote unquote think they should, to not let that discourage you. Again, that's just to help you with your perspective of things and kind of the way that things can be so, well, we pulled the magician card for this week, that things can be so magical. You are the magician. You can make it however you want to make it. And perhaps you might be making it a particular way in order to learn a particular lesson. So hope that helps, my friend. It says, if you recall last channeling, the soon you will learn to fly. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that Sugar Ray song, that totally connects. Dude, that is awesome. I love it. Time Harvest is there a good reptilian or Draco? Once I had an astral with a white Draco with yellowish eyes. It took me to an adventure in her UFO to a red planet. I loved it. Felt good energy from it. I think like with everything, there's light and shadow in everything. Just like we say that there are you know, quote unquote good humans, there are bad humans, but or we might just say light and shadow, negative and positive. So just like, let's say with reptilians, there's going to be reptilians that are on the definite negative end of the polarity spectrum, just like there are going to be ones that are positive polarity, you know, light and shadow and everything. Okay, so we have our buddy John. So John, let me know what your question is, or if you would just like a little check-in. And then Time Harvest also has a question, which is awesome. Costolini says, I pet my neighbor's dogs the other day. They touched my eyes just to see if, or I touched the eyes just to see if the allergies had lessened, and they had, after thinking about the shadow aspect of the dog for a while. So I love this message. Huge thank you. You are very, very welcome. Dude, that is so good to hear. Yeah, because we were talking about allergies and, you know, what could be another way of healing those. Very cool. Wow. Time Harvest says, but it's not too much. It's okay. We can do another one. Okay. Okay. It says, but if the channeling is too much, oh yeah, then it's up to me. I mean, yeah, we'll feel into it. Okay, John says, how am I supposed to follow that? It says vibe check. Okay, John, let's go into the vibe check. Actually, let's take another sip of water. I feel like my eyes are closing. I'm like, oh my goodness. I feel like I should just put on sunglasses right now. Because my eyes are just going to get real squinty. Okay, hello, homies. Okay, John, let's tap into your energy. I'm just kidding. I don't need to wear sunglasses right now. But I could. Okay, interesting. So, John, when I'm tapping into your energy, it's a blue star. Like it's this 5-pointed just star just expanding into other stars, like at its points, if that makes sense. So it's like at the point, another star is being created, and at their points, other stars are being created. So it's like you're creating this network of yourself, basically, your energy, just expanding like a fisherman's net, also known as Kan in Mayan astrology in Yucatec. But see what else I see going on in that blue star like energy. Okay, so when I look inside the star, it's like it's filled with all these silver shapes, almost as if you're surrounded by sacred geometry, like big time, being filled up with the sacred geometry, the cube and the square, the cylinder, sphere, cone, like all of these just like filling up this star, this blue star. Let's see what is playing on your airwaves right now. What is on John's radio station, his soul radio? It's here. Okay, John, you're probably going to laugh as usual, but I don't know why I'm hearing this. It's Carrie Underwood's Before He Cheats. I don't know why that song came in, but I just see like it's like a vision of like Carrie Underwood just like singing this in the wind, and she's just like ah. But it seems like it's that coming from the solar plexus, sacral, and root chakra. So it feels like those colors and that energy is like just coming out big time right now, which is being reflected in a lot of the sacred geometry that you've been seeing, which is aiding in the expansion of this like star energy. Whew. Whoa, that's cool. Okay, so Time Harvest is cracking up. Let's see. Let's go back here. Awesome. So let's pull a card, John, and see what all of that even meant. Ooh, the Two of Wands. Okay. We may have touched on this before, that that you were kind of going into a new chapter. The way your intuition works is changing, because your frequency is changing. And although there's like the huge majority part of you is like super stoked about all of the changes that have been going on. It's like, well, that's kind of cool, to be able to intuit this way a little bit easier. That certain downloads are coming in. There's a certain understanding of things. Like, that's all really cool. But then there's the ego aspect of us that is so scared of things that are different, especially when it doesn't know what the outcome is going to be, because our ego relies on the past in order to do what it thinks it does, which is help us in the present. So it's saying, well, this happened in the past, so let's do what we did in the past, so that we don't repeat it. Sometimes the ego doesn't make sense. Like, we'll just keep repeating our patterns because somehow that seems safer. So you might feel the ego start to flare up, probably in the next like week or a few weeks, where it's sad because you're changing into a place that it doesn't know. It's never been there before. So I'm going to need to take some time out to kind of have a little chat with the ego, saying, okay, what are your fears right now? Why is this upsetting you? That I'm able to do this now, that I'm seeing these kinds of things from this perspective. Like, what do you want to, speak your piece? And so allowing the ego to do that will help to lessen that feeling of fear or anxiety or even anger, kind of like the Carrie Underwood, just because it's like, what's happening? Okay, so yeah, so I hope that makes sense. Let me go back here. John says blue is an opening theme and stars are a specific theme for today. Ooh, or ongoing theme is the color blue. Well, and then our friend Time Harvest was also talking about dark blue at the beginning of this chat. So, wow, a lot of synchronicity coming in for you. Let's see, let's go back to our friend Time Harvest. This is, could you channel this one astral dream I had with the white albino Draco and find out more about it? I'll send you the input. Okay, let's do it. I mean, we're in a place where it's going to be a little bit easier to channel. So, all right. And then we have our friend Crystal afterwards, who would like me to use the Pachamama rooms. I would be freaking honored to do that. I love using those rooms. And our friend Sea Captain says, what do you think about Mary keeping us from being connected to our higher selves and exposing us to entity attachments? I've heard this in Quint and Nancy Rebecca. I suppose it depends on our energy towards what it is that we are utilizing. Because in the end, at least this is my opinion, I believe that we're creating our own reality. And so if in my reality, any external substance I use is going to make me connected, like connected to darker things, or that it's no good for the higher self, that in my reality, that is absolutely true. And I probably would say I would absolutely not utilize that, or because for me, that is true. And that's kind of the duality of things, is that we can have somebody who is like, in my reality, this is true. And sometimes we don't understand why isn't it true for everybody else? And just because everybody else is also having their own like mirrors and experiences and things. So we're all meant to experience these things differently because we're different human beings. Otherwise, we'd just be one single human being here on this planet. We have to have all these different experiences, perspectives, and realities. So that could be it. I have never felt that it's kept me from my higher self. In fact, I feel like it's quite the opposite. I feel like my higher self is just kind of like taken over. And that to me is why for some people, they find it really hard to remember things when they're hanging out with Mary, because the ego is in charge of our memories. It's our ego memories, like our logic, all the memories we've ever had in all lifetimes are stored within our soul. but our ego doesn't know that. So it's like trying to keep up with what just happened 5 minutes ago, what happened 10 minutes ago, what happened 15 minutes ago. And it's like really hard to remember. I think because there's less of that ego to interfere with like the experience that you're having with this Mary. But that's just my my opinion. Sea Captain says, I personally don't feel that way, but but seldom an enjoyer. Says, I'm bouncing in and out of conversations. I'm so ill prepared for a conversation. Totally. Next time I have stopped meditation, I get so tired. You know what? It's just finding a meditation that works for you, you know? So, and it took me a while to figure out what meditations work for me. So don't put any pressure on yourself. It's just trying out and seeing what you like. John, you are very welcome. Okay, but time harvest. Let's get back to you, my friend. I'm gonna have a little bit of water. Let's go in and connect to that white albino Draco that you saw in the astral dream and let you know a little bit more about it. Huh. Let's have a little bit more of this. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. Whew. My feet are hot right now. Okay. All right. Time harvest. I'm going in. Whew. 441182 1182 1182 latitude 1032.1 longitude 728 point up. In the energetic realm, I speak your frequency, not your name. Frequency in English. Tum. You're ready for what you've always known. You're ready for it to change. This results in the death of the ego and a long-held belief about what it means to be human. This is why you are visiting me at this time. If you feel you are ready, I can work with you. Or perhaps you can just watch and learn from us. Do as you will. When you lose your ego, you lose identity. It is in the state of nothingness that you are filled with awe, a juxtaposition, a duality of light and shadow. I am neither extraterrestrial or human or draconian, but I am nothing and everything. I am you You are moon. I am source. I am the past. I am the present. And I am the future. When you lose the ego, it's really a remembrance, a gaining back of complete understanding. And if you are ready, again, just watch us. All right. Oh, all right. Time harvest. I hope that wow, helped with whatever you were working on in the astral realm with this white albino Draco. Oh my goodness. Whew. Let's go back here. Sea Captain says, I'm definitely trying to get into it because oh, not sure what to do with the tiredness. I still fall asleep when I'm meditating sometimes, so there's nothing wrong with that. It took me, I think it was like 3, 4, maybe it was even 5 years. I fell asleep every single time I meditated. Like I would start to meditate, I'm 30 seconds in, boom, I'm asleep. Um, and it took a while of me finding my own style and what my energy felt like and trying to tell myself not to fall asleep, that I finally found a style that worked for me. But my style is always changing, so it's like, I don't know, whatever I was using last month is definitely something different than I'm trying this month, but it's all like my personal like stuff I've come up with for myself. So yeah, don't get discouraged with the falling asleep. I did it for many years. Um, John says, I think it's like what was said in the Mary channeling video. Sometimes it's that we expand beyond the vibes of the plant. Yeah, definitely. And Time Harvest says, oh man, I was there. Yes, I think you got it right. I guess it was me. Um, Hi, bird. There's a blue bird just hanging on the window, like 5 feet from me. Um, Let me turn this around. I don't know if you guys can actually see. He's up on the window. He's like right there. Hi, little guy. Have you come to talk to me and my friends? Wow, he's really just chilling on the window. Okay. I feel like we have to tap into you real quick. And then we'll get to our friend. Hold on, I can't move my chat anymore. What has happened here? Oh, okay, here we go. Then we'll pull some runes for our friend Crystal. And Time Harvest says, I guess it was me. I felt it was me in the future or past. Did you see its appearance? What was the altitude thingy? Its appearance, it just looked like, I don't know, like a lizard dinosaur head, but all I could see was the head. The rest of it was light. It was just so bright. It was like whited out. So all I could really see was its eyes. Um, oh yeah, it was giving coordinates. I don't really know what that was about, but maybe we could look it up on a map, or maybe it's not an Earth map. Not sure. Time Harvest says, did you see the planet we visited there? Oh man, I'll have to rewatch this a few times now. I did not see the planet. Again, it was just the being itself. Time Harvest said, thank you so much. The message is very intense and exciting. Wow, a blue avian descended right there. I know, right? That's what I was thinking. Freaking blue avian. So yeah, thank you so much, Time Harvest. He definitely wants to talk. Okay, so let's pull a card for this blue avian. And then we're going to pull some runes for our friend Crystal. Hi, Guy. I'm pulling a card for you. 5 of Wands is our birdie friends card. This is so cool. Oh my gosh, I just noticed there's a bunch of birds flying at the top of this card. Okay. The bird is saying to really look into what this week's advice means for you, because some would say that, some might say the world has gone mad. Some people have already been saying that, but particularly this week. And the reason we need to reflect on what our soul is saying about it rather than what the knee-jerk reaction of our ego is because not everybody will be seeing what you're seeing. For some people, it's just your average Tuesday at 3:00. For you, it might be like, oh my gosh, people are doing this in this part of the world, and this is happening in this part of the world. Like, this is it. This is where like the world has lost its mind. But we have to take a look into like, what if this were a message, through these people or these situations or what we're seeing on the news or what's going on in our life. If it were a message, what is it trying to tell us through these types of things, through these people, through these actions, through this part of the world? What is it trying to tell us? And that'll keep us from running away in fear with our ego, because there really is nothing to fear. All right. All right. Yay. Thank you, birdie friend. I'm going to turn the camera back around, okay, buddy? Because I'm going to pull some runes for my friend Crystal. And Crystal says, would you do a message check-in with me with the Pachamama runes? And I would be more than happy. So let's take a look, Ski. Okay. Wow, he's going, it's like he keeps going to sleep. Well, that's interesting. Hello, and we're back. Okay. That is so cool. I love our little blue avian hanging out with us. He's like a midnight blue, like a dark, like from a glance you might think he was a blackbird, but his feathers are actually really dark midnight blue in the sun. It's pretty. Okay. First, let's tap into Crystal's energy, see what we see. Whoa. Crystal, your energy looks like a supernova, or how we envision a supernova to be. It's like all of light being pulled to the center and then just like exploding in a zillion stars and galaxies. And you know what it reminds me of? When I had this experience where I basically, with my own eyeballs and my third eye, it was like it was overlaid. It was interesting. But it's like I saw the beginning of creation itself for everything that created, every dimension, every universe, every planet, every cell, every being ever. And that's what your soul looks like right now, Crystal. It's like sucked in, just boom, just creation in all directions. So beautiful. And it's what you might think of like with the stars is pinks, it's purples, it's dark blues, it's light blues, it's everything. Let's see if you have a song that your soul is playing at the moment. Oh my gosh, it's actually my favorite song. I'm glad that your soul's got great taste. One of my favorite songs is Ghosts and Stuff by Dead Mouse. Oh my gosh, that is such a cool song. Going on with your supernova self. Okay, I had pulled 3 runes. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. Time Harvest says he feels so comfortable with you. He really knows you. The bird knows you a long time. I think so. He's just asleep now. He's like just perched on the windowsill. We're going nappy nap now. He says he's basically your family. This is freaking awesome. So freaking awesome. Okay. So we have the rainbow. Ooh, I love that. We have the snake, and we have the hummingbird. And by the way, those little zippy zips that you see going past my head, those are all of our hummingbirds. So how synchronistic that that's coming forward for you. It's awesome. Okay, so let's put all of these together for a message for Crystal, kind of what she needs to know right now. So again, it's the rainbow, it's the snake, and it's the hummingbird. Yes, hello, hummingbirds. Okay. Okay. This is something you may already know, but they're just emphasizing for you. Your higher self, your guides, all of the energies that surround you, aiding you on your path. They're um, telling you to dive more deeply into your connection with animals. Um, and looking into the animals that you have an aversion to and the animals that you think are just super adorbs, there's learning in there and healing as well. Because the animals that we are attracted to or that we are not attracted to say a lot about our shadows, say a lot about where we are in our current path. So they're saying to really look into animal energy. So when you're just walking by on the sidewalk and somebody else is walking their dog and that dog's just kind of like staring at you and you're like, whoa, why is this dog looking at me? Like, tap in. And if you have a hard time like tapping into animals, then this is where you could start practicing the different ways that might feel comfortable for you in actually tapping into, animal consciousness, dogs, cats, snakes, spiders, fish, just trying to tap in all different kinds. And again, you might think, oh, well, that's just a, insert little bug. Oh, he's chirping now. Oh my gosh, he's chirping. This is so cool. So, Crystal, I guess this little birdie is for you as well. Tapping into the animal energy. So, even though I tapped into it, I pulled a card. I highly encourage you to tap into its energy as well and kind of see what comes forward. Like maybe it'll come forward as a feeling, maybe a song, maybe some colors. But this is a message that your journey moving forward right now is going to have a lot of animal frequency, animal type vibration kind of helping you along. So they might come in physical form, being surrounded by animals, but they might also be coming in the astral realm as well. So getting used to certain beings that are actually the original representations of what we have here on Earth, like the dog people, the cat people, the Lyrans, bird people, the aliens. So taking a look into that. But yeah, I hope that makes sense. Okay, man, so fun. And I think that you guys, every time, all the questions you guys have ever come up with have definitely helped us all, I feel. Okay, so let's go back here. Doot, 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 doot. Papapilia is asking for some help about the job. We could definitely pull a card for you. We are doing super chats and super stickers. So, oh wow, do you guys see that? There's like a dust devil back there, little bitty like dirt tornado. There's so many cool things happening around. Chirping birds, dirt tornadoes. Wow, you guys really bring it during this live chat. um, Okay, so let's see. And then Riley was asking Time Harvest where they are located, and Time Harvest says that they are in South America, in Brazil. Okay, Costalini, would you be able to ask my most likely future self, Ego, what he wants to say to me right now? I think that would be cool AF. Like a year from now. Okay, okay. Most likely future for the ego self. Okay, I like that. A little bit more water. I can't believe that little bird is just chilling with us right now. I mean, my soul can. My ego is having trouble catching up. um, Time Harvest is talking about the bird. It says a spirit guide decided to show up. What an amazing live. Oh, and then we also get a card to pull for our friend Kayla and Sea Captain. So Sea Captain, yay. Sea Captain says, I agree. Mary definitely lets me let go for a bit and enjoy. Always about time, place, and mindset. This conversation has been great. Thank you. You are very welcome. And Crystal says, it does make sense. Thank you. Yay. So happy. And so Costolini's like time travel. Okay, so let's grab the cards again for Costolini. And let's look into the future self. Let's take another little. All right. Okay. It really tastes like the deer tongue leaf and mullein and roses. It tastes good. Okay. So it's interesting. It's like I was you and I was like fast forwarding, like somebody was like fast forwarding the VHS tape. And it was showing me that, you know, that movie, Yes Man with Jim Carrey, where he just decides that he's going to say yes to everything that is coming his way. And it's showing that somewhere towards the end of the year, like November, December. So not even going into next year, like it happening sooner than that, because you've actually moved up a timeline. So when this happens is actually coming a lot sooner. But anyway, it's this kind of mode that you get in where you decide that, almost like the movie, you're going to start saying yes to everything. Even the things where you're like, man, like I probably don't really want to do that, or like cruises have never been my thing, or or I'm actually really afraid of heights, so I would never like do any sort of bungee jumping or skydiving. But it seems like because of your perspective changing, the little birdie's chirping again, that you're just deciding to do the things that normally your ego is like screaming at you, like, that's scary. So this is like what your ego is actually showing, which is interesting, you know, that your ego is actually coming forth with this of like, yeah, I'm going to get to a point towards the end of this year where I'm just like, I'm not really afraid of anything anymore. And I'm just like, okay, let's do it. Okay. And because of these new experiences that you wouldn't have otherwise had if you were just going into the fear mode, like it's opening up so many new opportunities for you within the next year. And I'm not just talking like, oh, you might have like a little career opportunity or like, you know, home opportunity, but this is like freaking soul expansion opportunities, like really big ones. The kind that really give rise to ego death, which we were talking about with our buddy John. Wow, dude, Ghostolini. Let's see. Costolini is like, Time Harvest is that bird is about to hug you. That's how comfortable. Yeah, still just chilling on the window. Just like looking inside the house. Do you want me to help you, sir? Let's see. Costolini says, I'm so excited. I become one of those YOLO people. Exactly. You only live once, bro. Let's do it. They're like, hey, Costolini, are you down from some whatever deep dive, like scuba diving? You're like, let's do it. Freaking YOLO. All right. So Costolini, I did pull a card for you, and I pulled the Lover's card. It is like the fact that you're just going to be going like, let's do it. Let's go for it. I mean, no time like the present. Oh, did the birdie fly off? Oh no. Oh, Well, he was there. It seems like it brings you into this like beautiful balance, where you just feel more clear and confident in your actions moving forward. Like your decisions, everything is just like, even when it seems like, man, that's kind of a bummer, it still feels like you see it more instead of a thing that happened to you. It's like, wow, this message came to me. Wow, what a beautiful lesson. Thanks, universe. So it's definitely a perspective change that comes from the whole like, let's go. Yes, man. Yes, man. Let's just do it. So I love that. That's awesome. Riley says, I scared him off. Sorry. I was trying to get a picture of him with you in the background. Ah, did you get the picture? Because, well, maybe he'll come back. Come back, my friend. Um, Time Harvest is, oh no, he is always there with you though. Yes. Um, Time Harvest is, Riley, bro, it's your fault. Costalini, you are very, very welcome, my friend. Okay, we have our friend Sea Captain. So, Sea Captain, let me know what your question is, or maybe you just want a general check in. If you want me to trip out on your soul, I can do that too. Did I already take a hit? Oh, we'll do another one. Okay, let's turn around here. Okay. Okay. Our buddy John. Sorry, I forgot about your second reading. So John, let me know what your question is. And then after John, we have Sea Captain, and then we have our friend Kayla. So, okay. Sorry about getting them out of order. See. John says, I don't know really anything about Aztec or Mayan mythology or culture. Wondering why the flayed one is in my awareness right now. Oh, really? Oh my gosh. Okay, I forget the name of that deity, but yeah, the flayed one is it's actually like where all the pieces of itself are out. But yeah, that's a part of like Mayan mythology. Let's tap into that. That's freaking awesome. Well, I mean, not to be flayed, that's an option, but I'm talking about having this come up for you right now. Okay. Okay. You have a like before it was Guatemala with the ancient peoples, the Maya. And the flay one coming through is a reminder of the sacrifices we knowingly and unknowingly take and make and have contracted with ourselves. And sometimes when you think of the word contract, it has a negative connotation that something is binding, that somehow it was done without your consent. And so looking into why this is, we cut deeper into the flesh, into the energy. Why we might feel the way we do about contracts. And remember that a lot of the beautiful changes that you're loving in your life right now, in terms of consciousness expansion and your frequency changing, have been under a contract that you have created before you incarnated here. Just as though there are those contracts that you've created, but you feel are negative in your life, and so you wish to rewrite or cut those contracts. Why does one seem more healing than the other? What makes a positive polarity contract differ from a negative polarity contract? And not to say that you can't rewrite your contracts or change them or get rid of them entirely. We have to understand our actions for doing so first. So where does your feeling of contract come from? Okay, let's go ahead and pull a card. Whoo! John, I hope that made sense. I was off somewhere else. Okay, we have the Nine of Cups. And I'm getting kind of like what was coming through that, you know, since there is light and shadow and everything, there's obviously light and shadow within making a contract or breaking a contract. But also in knowing that whatever we do, the contracts that we make and the contracts that we break, that all of it, literally all of it, is aiding in our path forward. We sometimes think that we're taking a step backwards. Like, oh man, I have to get rid of this contract. You know, I have to take a step backwards, or I messed up, like feeling down, but it's really propelling forward. So interesting that the Aztec and the Maya are coming through because they understand very well contract. And that's why the flayed one is also coming through. Which of those contracts would you consider harming and healing, or light and dark, and why? Interesting. John says it makes sense. Okay. Whew. I hope so, because now I don't even remember what I just said. No, I'm just kidding. Kind of. Okay. Let's see. Let's go back here. Thank you so much, John. Thank you, everybody who's gotten a reading so far. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so now we go back to our friend Sea Captain. So Sea Captain, yes, let me know what your question is or what you'd like me to look into. Whew. And then our friend Kayla. John says, interesting, also during a Mercury retrograde. Yes. Oh my gosh, when they say, don't make contracts right now. Wow. Costalini says, will source give you divine timing, or is that kind of iffy? I feel like divine timing is what we've created for ourselves when we're ready. So I think everybody is in divine timing, but I don't think it's like some outside source, like being like, okay, Costalini is ready. let's put him in synchronous, timing. It's more where you're going through your lessons and you're doing your healing and you're ready for a new type of lesson, and then the soul's like, oh, are you ready now? Cool, let's go ahead and put something in your path, and then divine timing. So I don't know, that's how I see it from my perspective. I hope that made sense. I'm a little stoned right now. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, Sea Captain, just let me know what your question is. And then we'll have our friend Kayla, who would like a message from Eco. He said, thank you, Tara. I would love to connect to Eco. Costalini's just cracking up. Okay. Come back, little bird. Costalini says, I just meant like asking a timing question. An exact date is iffy because, like you said, the ego might not be ready. I mean, we could do it, but just know that, if your higher self has been saying that you're like jumping timelines like crazy, the timeline I type into might not be the, timeline you ultimately eventually land on. So yeah, it could be iffy. That's the short answer. But whoa, I guess my higher self decided everybody needed like its perspective on divine timing, though. Kind of interesting. Okay, so Sea Captain, man, these flies like to bite. That's not very nice, guys. Time Harvest says, I'm in the burrito timeline, eating so many burritos. Ah, lucky. I love me a good burrito. And you know what my favorite is? And it's super easy. It's just bean and cheese. Like, frijole y queso is like my favorite burrito on earth. Behind the, no, wait. And then second would probably be a breakfast burrito. But yeah, bean and cheese is like my favorite. Timer says 2 beans and cheese. Abe, high five. Says what? How did you know that? I didn't know that. I just knew that I like beans and cheese. That's awesome. Okay. While we wait for our friend Sea Captain, let's go ahead and pull a card for our friend Kayla, a message from Eco. So let's go ahead and do that. Whew. I need to just ground. Okay. So let's tap into Eco and Kayla. And my foot fell asleep. Okay, this is interesting because Eco is showing, this is from The Wizard of Oz. You know, we represent the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild. Why is Eco showing this? This is interesting. What? Okay, hold on. Whew. Eco's coming in with some intense energy right now. This is so cool. Okay. So Eco is saying that more and more the, I would say not really the nature realm, the elemental, like elemental and nature realm, yeah, I guess, are coming in big time right now to work with you. So that's what you think of when you think of like gnomes and fairies and the different variations of what we might see as butterfly or insects, but more their nature soul form. The energy of the different elements, you know, fire and water and wind, that although you've worked with animals quite a bit and you've learned a lot, you're going to continue to work with animals, but now like the elemental realm, you know, your nature realm is coming in to work with you. So don't be surprised if you start seeing like little teeny flashy lights in the house, or you're catching something running out of the corner of your eye. It's this realm now that is coming to aid you on what you've decided is the next course, where you're going to take your soul next. Very cool. And so I guess, yeah, the song coming through from Eco is really just the Lollipop Guild. That's interesting. So let's pull you a card. Ooh, we have the Justice card. So the reason that the nature and elemental realm is coming in to help you is to help bring into balance more the soul and the ego. That it's easier to understand the soul through working with the like elemental and nature realm, and it's easier to understand our ego when we work with it too. And it's actually Eco is like, it's kind of fun. Because he said that in 4D where he's at, that's the realm he works with, and that's the realm he's been having a lot of fun in his own healing, you know, in his spirit realm. So that's so cool. I hope that makes sense, Kayla. Super cool. I would like to have, well, I don't know. Do I want all of the fae in the house? Some of them can be kind of trickstery. Um, I like working with the elemental and nature realm though, outside the house. Super cool. Time Harvest says, sweet dreams are made out of cheese. Who am I not to eat? I've eaten burritos and the 7 flavors, but beans and cheese are the best. Who am I to disagree? I love the play on that song. That's awesome. Sweet dreams are made of cheese. Who am I not to eat? I love it. So yeah, that's fun. And so I guess it's whatever it is that you've decided, like the direction that you're headed next in your life. Eco is just saying, have fun as like the little mischievous elemental and nature realm comes in to help you out. So yeah, I guess if you want to start talking to them more, see if you want to work with them, I don't know, build up a communication. That might be a lot of fun. And then Riley just reminding Sea Captain if she has a question. Yes, definitely let me know. Whew. Okay. Just grounding. So let me know how you guys are digging this time for the live chat. Because those of you who maybe are like new, we were having our live chats at 8 in the morning on Sunday mornings, Pacific Standard Time. But I'm trying 2 o'clock to see if we can accommodate some of our friends in some different time zones and just, I don't know. So giving it a try, let me know. Also, let me know if you like hanging out with Mary during our live chats. Oh my goodness. There is a lot of bird energy. Oh, I hear that little birdie again. Where is he? He was around. Oh my goodness. Oh wow, it's like a new type of hummingbird that came in too. Little gray hummingbird. Interesting. Time Harvest says, what an excellent live. Good timing, good questions, and have a live hi from the blue avian bird. Yes, a live hello. That was super cool. I'm glad he got to be on the interwebs with us. He got to share in our fun. Okay. All right. Well, you guys. Oh, I know. While we wait for our friend Sea Captain, I never did get to tell that retell because I think I told this story before about the first time I hung out with my magical fungal companion. um, Time Harvested Bro was so cute. Yes, he was. Um, so, and some of you guys have already heard this story, but you know, people think it's kind of funny. So, I went out to a place called Payson here in Arizona. It's in the trees in the mountains, and I had decided that I was ready to try a fungal friend for the very first time. And so I was told you have to go out into nature, and it's just better, out in nature, free of like distractions of like the city and stuff. And so I'm with my ex, and it actually literally like rained on our parade because it was raining on and off pretty good, and we went up without firewood. We ended up buying firewood from like Walmart or something like that, and the wood was like soaked, and my ex just like couldn't get it lit. And so before that though, he said, if you're going to have a fungal friend, you might as well put it inside food. So he made a peanut butter sandwich and put the fungus inside, and it was not good. But I ate it. And then like an hour later, like he's trying to start the fire. He's like yelling at the wood and the rain because like he can't start the fire. And I'm there at like this like little rock or something. I'm just sitting on it and I'm like, ooh, I just thought of something cool. I'll make a video and I'll post it on Instagram. And so I'm trying to make this video, but I failed to press record and I couldn't stop laughing for no apparent reason. I was looking at the leaves on a tree and I was just like, it was just hilarious to me all of a sudden. I laughed for probably like 30 minutes. I'm really not sure. Time was kind of weird. And then I threw up a lot, but I didn't freak out because I was looking at my mom and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And everything was amazing to me. Like I'm looking at flowers and trees. I'm like, you're amazing. And I'm looking at weird little bugs and spiders. I'm like, you too, little buddy. You're amazing. And then I was like, oh, look, there's a sign that says, watch out, mountain lion in the area. I love you, mountain lion. You're amazing. And I just felt so good and everything was so funny. And then at some point I had to use the restroom. And I was in a little campground, so they had like, you know, public restrooms. And my ex says, don't look at yourself in the mirror when you go in there. He says, when people are on psychedelics, they get really freaked out when they look themselves in the eye. So of course, what do? I want to go look at my reflection and see what happens. So I'm like, really? Like you see something weird? So I look in the mirror and my eyes look like they're like getting so big and I'm like looking at my pupils and they're like saucers and I'm like, whoa, I really am tripping out. Wow, that's amazing. And then I'm talking to my reflection. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're a good person. I'm so proud of you. You're amazing. And then just the rest of the night, that's just kind of where I was at. I didn't get to set up a tent like I wanted to because it was raining and the tent that we had was not waterproof. And so I had to sleep inside my truck. And yeah, I remember I would start to nod asleep. And then for some reason I'd wake up and I'd look in the rearview mirror and still look at my eyes and I'm like, man, they're still like saucers. Man, still tripping. But yeah, so that was my first time with my fungal friend. Let's see. John says they go well with pistachios. Oh, the nice. Time Harvest says the difference between birds and other animal spirit connection is that the birds are very obvious and vocal, while the others, you have to really actually read the energy of it in order to find out what it is. Wow. And then Time Harvest says every time a bird came around talking, I already knew what's up. And Time Harvest says cashew is superior to pistachio. Changed my mind. Gosh, I'm gonna have to say that it's a toss-up. I love cashews and I love pistachios. Those are like my two favorite kinds of nuts. Wow. That's a hard one. I like cashews, but I like pistachios. Alrighty. Well, on that note, I'll still stick around for a little bit after the guided meditation for our friend Sea Captain. But let's go ahead and get into our channel guided meditation. We'll see how this goes. So actually, let's pull a card to give us direction. You know, what our higher selves would really like at this time for a guided meditation. And I think there was somebody who made a suggestion about a type of guided meditation and then maybe doing it during this live chat. I'm trying to rack my brain to remember what it was, the type of meditation. I think it was for connecting to the higher selves. Since everybody's way might be changing a little bit, so just finding a new method in connecting to our higher self as our frequency changes. So maybe we can do that. Time Harvest says cashew nuts is from Brazil. I eat them on a weekly basis. They cost like $5 per kilogram. It's so much. Really? Wow. Well, I mean, cashews are pretty expensive here too in the States. I don't remember how much a pound, but They make those little buggers pricey because they're really good. Okay, so let's get a direction for our guided meditation. And we have the Queen of Hearts and we have Princess Angeline from the Doamish. Okay, let's see what she has to guide our meditation today. Oh, she's like, hey, you gave them a message earlier about this week about how they're supposed to tap into, their energy and kind of find out what their soul wants from them right now. Like, let's help everybody to actually tap into the heart space, like right now, and actually find that out for this week. Like, what should you, or what, I say should, what would your higher self like you to be doing, like this very moment, this minute, this day, this week? So yeah, let's do that, because how we connect to the higher self changes. So maybe this meditation will help us find a new way in connecting. And then ask it, what should I be focusing on right now? What should I be doing or not doing? Costalini says Costco is like $15 per kilogram of cashews. Oh, that is also pricey. Goodness. And Time Harvest says that's cheap, but is it good quality stuff? It says, oh man, I could live off of cashew nuts. Costalini says it's Costco, so it's probably GMO. True. Okay, so let me get out of the way and let's take a little more Tokay and we'll get into this meditation. Man, I keep knocking this crystal off. Ah, that sucks. I got to glue it back on again. Ooh. Okay, let's do this. Okay, moving out of the way. Okay, bringing you to our beautiful forest. All right, everybody. So go ahead and find yourself a nice, comfortable space, a place that you will be undisturbed for the next several minutes. You could be laying on your bed, sitting in a chair, sitting on the floor, maybe lying underneath your favorite tree, whichever place is comfortable for you. And as you get yourself nice and situated, nice and relaxed, go ahead and bring your awareness to your breath. Just feeling the rise and fall of your chest. Noticing the inhale and the exhale. And take a moment to feel into where you feel the breath when you inhale. Really look into it, feeling it in the lungs, yes, but do you also feel it down into your diaphragm, to your stomach, down into your toes? When you exhale, where are you feeling it pull from? If the breath were a color, what color do you see? And if breath were a song, what song would it be? And as you're beginning to feel the rhythm of the breath, how it looks, how it feels, we feel now to the vessel itself. How does it feel at this moment? Where is it calling for attention? Where is it thanking you for the love? Just feeling into that body. And now we feel into our soul, our energetic being. What color is it right now? What does it feel like? What song comes to mind? And as we get reacquainted with our energy, what it sounds like, how it speaks to us, we listen in. What should we be doing right now? What would benefit me for my best and highest good right now, today, this week? What am I being called to do? How can I honor my soul's asking? And so feel into this until you feel a response come forward in whatever form that may be. It might be different than we're used to, but that's okay. We're just learning the ever expanding language of our soul. And once you have your response, thank your higher self for coming here, for always being with you, for being you, and for showing you what is for your best and highest good at this time. When you're ready, pull your awareness back to your heart, your energetic being, your vessel, all the way back to your breath. And go ahead and start to wiggle your fingers and toes. And you can have yourself a little stretch when you're ready. All right. Wow. Thank you guys for hanging out with me during this unique live chat. Thank you guys who voted for hanging out with our friend Mary Jane during today's chat. Thank you to everybody who got a super chat and super sticker who allowed me to read for them. Thank you to everybody who showed up in the chat at this new time, 2 o'clock. Hey, let me know if you dig it. Maybe we'll keep it for next week. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, and just thank you for joining in. I feel like it was a lot of fun. I hope that's just not my stoned perception. Can't even talk. Perception. Anyway, let's see. John says, my ride is here. I have to go. Thank you. Love to you all. Hope that you have a beautiful week, John. Time Harvest says, good ride, cowboy, space cowboy. John said, yeehaw. Kayla says, I missed my message. I'm sorry. I'm watching my baby nephew. I'm going to listen to it now. Okay. Yay. Lots of love to your baby nephew. Kayla said she loved the meditation. Time Harvest was vibing. Can't forget the blue avian now. That guy is on my mind. Wow. I had so much fun with you guys. I learned so much with you guys. Thank you for holding space for me while I allowed my ego to go off into the ethers and I could just like be my weird, silly self with you guys. So thank you. Yeah, and we will catch you homies next week. Again, perhaps 2 o'clock, same bat time, same bat channel. All right. Kayla said, thank you. You're very welcome. I hope you guys all have an amazing week. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Bye, guys.